Hello, my friends. How's it going tonight on this Tuesday, July 30th, 2024? My friends, we are at a very, very interesting time in human history. And I welcome you to join me to kind of dive into kind of figuring out where we're at in all of it. Um, and and I think that what you'll find with me is I have quite the positive outlook despite so much negativity and so much happening in the world that just doesn't make sense at all. Hey Jan, how are you? Good to see you, and good evening, Dave and all. Hey Jen, um, and first one in, Viking King. Howdy, all. Good to see you, brother. And Kelly's Kitten Squad. Hi. Mama Doby, evening, y'all. Dina, hello, everybody. Good to see you. Paco Jan, hi, Dave from Kansas. Jan Butler, hey, Jan. Hello, all you gorgeous patriots. Hello, DavidSneds. Viola, good to see you, Viola. Mary Luck, hello. And dear Alisa, hello. And Miss Minder Sue. And yeah, Sissy May, good to see everybody. Deborah from Texas Panhandle. So, my friends, as you come in, look at this energy that you're bringing into the Sned Shed here. Tracy, good to see you. It is really, really touching. Mary Ellen, greetings, Dave and Snedheads. Alabama here, Sissy May. Hi, Dave, Hawksneds and Seeds. Maggie, good to see you. Maggie, we got to do something here in Austin soon. I'm kind of jonesing for it. Howdy, everyone. Diana, Shay, I'm not late, but early. It seems nice. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. All right, my friends. Nita Bells, my thoughts on Project 25. Well, I'll tell you, Nita, that's a great question. It is a psychological operation to try to pin certain, things about, a plan on Trump. And so much so that I have not even read Project 2025 because I know it has nothing to do with Trump. So I haven't even, it's almost like, what do you think about what, Joe Biden said yesterday? Well, the Ingersoll thing was pretty big, but I will tell you that I don't pay much attention because it doesn't move the needle for me one way or another. Kathy Cares, hello from Grand Haven, Michigan. Good to see you all. Horsepower, hi Dave, good to see you. Hawk, your show today had me sitting at the edge of my seat. Wow. Folks, if you ever want to check out the daytime with Hawk, he is on Hawk's Mustard Seeds 25, no space, on YouTube. And he's also on, here, I'm putting it up right now, Facebook. He's on Hawk J. Marsden. So he goes through, X and some of the day's news and so forth. And so he'd love for you to join him. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at DaveSnedeker. And folks, if you're not on Twitter, I highly recommend you get there. There's much going on. It's easy to navigate. It's easy to learn. And you'll, and it's the kind of thing where you can still keep Facebook and put pictures of your children and your grandchildren up. Twitter has no interest in that. X has no interest in your grandchildren or your children in terms of, putting pictures up of them. It's really a news space, and it is the number one news space in Venezuela, which is very important, obviously, right now. Okay. So, so my friends, let me get into, just finish what I was saying earlier, and in that I have a pretty rosy outlook on our future together, and I don't have that because I have my head in the sand. I don't have that because I tried to spread hopium. I have that because I have been researching our enslavement for 18 years. And what I see happening is not furthering that enslavement, but actually exposing that enslavement. Does that make sense to you? In other words, without question, we are, we are, and please share this out. Thank you, Ann. Good to see you, Ann. And we are, just so you know, without question, you and I are not going to argue over the fact that we are actually seeing more enslavement, if you will, right? We're seeing more tyranny. We are seeing an uptick in, um, you know, here's a thought. Let me get just a show of hands, and if you don't want to answer this, that's fine. You obviously do what you want, but just a show of hands, maybe you're from, where do you live? And also, Natalie, love the head sned. So glad you're back. Spent many nights with your calm demeanor, lulling me to sleep. Natalie, welcome back, and it's good to be with you. Um, where you're from, but also, um, are you stressing about rent, for example? Um, are you like on a month to month situation or mortgage? Okay. So this is just about the roof over your head. Is it July 30th here? Is it a stressful time, these final days of the month for you because of the bills that are coming due on the first? And that could be rent and utilities. Certainly, food's gone up. So I'm not saying that things haven't gotten worse. As a matter of fact, they have gotten worse. But what I see is it hasn't gotten worse in a sense that we're not aware of who's doing it and why. Now we are doing it. We're experiencing all this tyranny, but we know who's doing it and we know exactly why they're doing it. And we're about to change all that. And we're in the process of changing all that. And what's going to change that is talking about it, transparency. Okay. Um, let's see. That's the point, Dave. We're seeing it all. Exactly. Boom Q. That's been my take on this whole thing, is that this is the exposure. This is the show. This is the show that Q has told us about. Now, are we supposed to sit back and do nothing? No, absolutely not. We are supposed to rage against the machine, not like the band who completely capitulated to the jab and pushed the jab and fell into line just like every other fake musical artist and counterculture supposed person. Pahrump, Nevada, Rizwan, outside Seattle. Oh my God, Bear. New York, the non-liberal part. Vermont, I'm definitely. Patricia, I'm sorry to hear that. Viking King, New York, and stressful. So that means the end of the month. By the way, folks, I've got my other little boy with me, Mr. Whistle Whiskers. He might make an appearance here. He's right here. Hey, buddy, you want to say hi? Look. Hey. You want to say hello? Hey. Look there. Look at there. Yeah. There you go, buddy. Yeah. So he's joining me for next several days, and that's quite lovely. Greetings coming from Omaha, Nebraska. Rizwan, absolutely. Mary Ellen, New from Dallas, welcome, Charlotte's Web. Um, from Australia, blessed to own my home. Kim, that's fantastic. Good for you. That's someplace I've never gotten to, unfortunately. Kelly's Kitten Squad, yes. Living in California with the expenses and crazy and, putting a daughter in private school, it's just never presented itself as being a possibility, really, especially coaching basketball and doing this. This is, this, this is not a get rich quick scheme. It is with some, but not me. I'm definitely financially stressed, Patricia. I'm not stressed on anything. Good for you. Phoenix, Arizona. Yes. Notice now they're saying weird. Haven't heard that in a long time. I'm going to get into that, Debbie. And we were just there, by the way. We were literally just there talking about the talking points, the 4 a.m. talking points. And you see everybody doing it. That's because I'm going to get to there. Renting 2 rooms in my home. So you're making the ends meet that way. South Carolina, not stressing about mortgage, medical bills, and food are killing me, to be honest. Sorry to hear about that. Nita Bells, Missouri, yes, yes, yes. Had to move in with my son. Sorry to hear that. We're all pretty much struggling. Unless you're a sellout, times are hard. That's absolutely true. I live on Social Security. It's getting really hard. Social Security doesn't go up with the cost of living. That's the problem. Hey, Sneds from Boca Beach, Florida. Oh, yeah, I have $2,500 in bills due and wondering how I'm going to take my daughter school shopping. Sucks. Yes. I'm there with you. Washington State, we own our house, but my children are struggling bad, Miss Mendersu. Sorry to hear that. Dina, Arizona, I'm grateful to God. I'm doing all right. Good for you, Dina. Lafayette, Louisiana area, homeowners insurance has gotten totally out of control. Gilroy, California, not really stressed. Good for you, Tracy. You've always done pretty well. Not yet a bad struggle, but definitely not doing what we used to do. From Kalispell, Montana, I work 7 days a week to pay my rent and bills. I'm surely held up by God's righteous hand. Overland Park, Kansas, everything has gone up, frustrated but hopeful. Alabama here, I live in a camper, Sissy May. Having a good hair night, Dave. Hope this is a long one. Not sleeping. I am in South Carolina. I was writing so many big money checks for things that had to be done. I had to take a mental break. Rivka. Thank you. And for the hair comment and all that you are going through, our founding fathers would be proud that we're now twerking to get votes. Yes, I saw that earlier. And that was a Greg post, if I'm not mistaken. Oregon, and yes, McTrans. North Carolina, not stressing because I trust and rely on God as my provider. Well, that's a really nice outlook to have. And quite frankly, that's where we're supposed to be, ideally. And I, for the most part, I sure as hell try, but it's every month is, I want to be in a place and I should be, in a place of less stress because God has always provided for me as well. I've been really blessed to just pull a rabbit out of my hat at times, but I need to get out from underneath some debt as well. And, this situation, I will tell you what, folks, Missouri, retired but know how to budget, was self-employed and used to feast or famine. Teresa, yes, I've pretty much been self-employed since I was 22 years old, and I would say haven't done great, but have done some good things. My home insurance just went up $400 a year. Sorry to hear that, Sharon. Jan, Middleburg Heights, Ohio. It's tough, but we're doing okay. We have 3 of us splitting the bills each month. That's very helpful. Like the people of Venezuela, that's where it's going, right? Southern California, I am a lot stressed. I know what is going on. I am a lot stressed or not stressed. Big difference there. Monterey Bay, it's the shits in California. Love you, Dave. Thank you, Judy. So God has been good to us. Thank you, Father God. Hello, everyone. And hello, Hawk and Dave, Deadpool Snipes. Good to see you, brother. Garrett, Miss Mindersu, let's hit the road Saturday. Connecticut here, widower on a fixed income, and it's a little rough. And yet, here we are, folks. Let's do this. Excuse me. Debbie Lee, I'm going to leave that question up, and I'm going to leave that question up and come back to that. So let's do this. Let's envision a month from now, um, and we're in the same place. We're August 30th, and we're not stressing because something we did during the month sparked something in us, and we, got in a couple extra $100, couple thousand extra, and maybe you have in your mind, you're picturing something that is has the potential for doing that if you just made a phone call, or if you just did something normally that you wouldn't normally do, et cetera, et cetera. And then just picture ourselves. I'm saying, hey, who's here is stressed? And it's like, not me. I got it covered, blah, blah, blah. And just picture yourself responding to that in a really positive way. Like, oh, yeah, we got it nailed. I had rent, I had mortgage a week early, or what have you. This is the kind of, excuse me. Cheers, everybody. This is the kind of, visualization and manifestation that makes a big difference with in our lives. And so let's not forget to do that, especially when finances are can be such a difficult thing. And so when I just want you to know that we're all going through some stuff, and when I drop this banner here, this is not for those of you who responded, yeah, I'm stressed and I've been, had a tough time, and, got to pay mortgage, or, renting out bedrooms. This is not for you. What I'm doing is for you. My gift to you, the fact that every single one of my shows is absolutely free, is for you that are stressing right now, because not only do I want to give it to you as a gift for free, but I also want you to gain something from it that makes your life better. I don't want you in fear. I don't want to spread, bad news over and over and over again. This is about kind of looking out at the landscape in front of us, looking out at the battlefield in front of us, and providing a port in the storm, but also providing a strategy. Anybody that walked through COVID with me will tell you that it was a better journey together than it would have been alone, and it was a better journey with the information that you were getting from me than it would have been, turning on Fox, turning on CNN, turning on MSNBC, turning to, Ben Shapiro, turning to, Joe Rogan. They weren't helping us early on, folks. Just so you know, Russell Brand was not helping us early on with all this. All these guys that get millions more listeners than DavidSnedeker were not telling you, do not fall for this, and do not get that jab. This is a genocide. And so what I'm providing you, my goal is to help you through this, because we have to help each other. And especially for those of us who have seen this, predicted this, and are tracking this, you need a guide. But you don't need a guide whose self-esteem is so low, like so many people in this movement, that they have to pretend to be somebody they're not. They have to pretend to have information that they don't really have. They have to pretend like they have a contact on the inside. So come and hear what I have to say about my contact. what my contact told me today. They you know, and we often get lost in the crowd, in the sense that, wow, look at how many people are listening to this person. They must be saying something good. Let me go to them. Well, most of them haven't been canceled off every single big tech platform like yours truly, because early on, I was telling you the things that they didn't want me telling you. So, for those of you who are struggling, I want you to know that yes, if you want to drop $1 or $2, and instead of getting a coffee, you send me $2 or something, or you want to just help me out. Yeah, that's fine, but this isn't for you. This donation link is not for you if you're struggling. This is my gift, and also what the people that do donate, the people that that I do share with you, that they share with me, gifts of patronage. They are doing it for you as well, so that this information does not get lost, that this information is front and center, and it's not behind a paywall, and you don't have to pay money to get it. That's not the way that important life information should work. So, my friends, we are presently at about 1,000 right now, and so welcome one and all. I am. Thank you, by the way, for sharing your state of affairs. Sometimes that can be embarrassing. Sometimes it could be, it can be extending ourselves out into the world, that we often try to cover up, and we don't have these conversations so much. I just wanted to say thank you for sharing that, because I think sharing that helps others. Uh, excuse me. Excuse me, dude. Don't do that. Come on, leave him be. So Jasper and Whiskers get along great. But sometimes Jasper just wants to play, and of course the cat does not always want to do that. So it's pretty hilarious. Yes, you go play. So my friends, so thank you for sharing that. It's a very difficult time. I know it's difficult for me. It's difficult for a lot of people, and so I think that when we kind of come together and we realize how many people are really kind of struggling right now, it helps us to get through it, because we're not alone. So I wanted to say, uh, David, thank you for what a lovely comment I just caught out of the corner of my eye. Um, so I wanted to say one more thing about that, and then here it is, David. Howdy, partner. This is why I like your channel. You keep it real. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Great name, by the way. And so here's the thing, folks. If you and I were like really having a tough time, and we were still asleep, and the world was still asleep, and people really didn't have a clue what was going on, and that would be a really, really depressing situation. But the heightened difficulty that we are experiencing is waking people up unlike anything we've ever seen. And we won't be kept down. Look at Venezuela. Look at, well, I'm going to get into some of the places that are being exposed right now. But look at these places around the world that are shifting right now. Okay. And that's what's very exciting. So this is a question that came up, and I just lost it. But Christina, Dave, you woke me up back in 2020. I'm so blessed to have found you. Christina, thank you for that. And glad to be a part of your awakening. Yeah, I've I hear that a lot, and I'm so grateful that I've been of service to humanity in the way that I have, and also, and yeah, it's just been that's why I did this. Um, so thank you. Miss Mindersu, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, show Dave and Hawk some love. Yes, thank you. Please do that. That helps us get our message out there. Thank you, Moonbeam, for dropping that information in the chat. So, my friends, uh, you woke me up, and none of my immediate family got the jab, Teresa. I'm so glad. I'm so glad, man. Um, yeah, it disgusted me. No one listens, Debbie. Yes, like and share this out pretty quick. RJ Minnick, I figured out brand pretty quickly. Yeah, I will. And yeah, I agree. I don't trust the man. Tammy, I will say, Dave, you have put my fears at ease, and others on here. I've been a little nervous side, but you've definitely helped with that fear. No jabs here. Fantastic. Um, the journey was definitely better going through it with the Sneds. Robert, thank you for that. So, and absolutely it was. Thank you, Sharon and Dina. 100% awesome. So, um, yeah, hope for the future, my friends, because we know that this is not going to stay the same, and we know that we're not going to let it get back to this. And in order for us to not let it get back to where we once were, that the harder you have to work at something, the more you value it, right? You give a kid a bicycle, he might leave it out in the rain, but you make the kid pay for half of it, that's a different story. He pays for all of it, you can pretty much assure that bike isn't going to be left out in the rain. That's what we needed to experience as humanity, because we needed to make sure that we never ever came back to this place in time we are right now in human history in terms of the state of affairs. We have to make sure that we never let those people back in power. And the only way I think we could truly do that is if we experience this hardship ourselves. And I do believe we have some more hardship coming up, especially, excuse me, revolving around the jab. And so, but we got to stay strong through that, and we got to keep ourselves safe, right? So, okay. The question that popped up earlier was, do I think Q has been infiltrated? Let me get into it. By the way, it's going to be a flurry here. I'm going to go through some really cool stuff and some really powerful things. And I have some comments on those things, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So, okay, thanks, Hawk. I see that. Drip, drip, flood. So, my friends, what I wanted to answer was somebody asked, do you think Q has been infiltrated? And when I was on the chats the other day, there were people that were I'm sorry, on the spaces the other day. Um, and when I was there, excuse me, uh, I, I just saw, I just saw Hawk's comment. uh, so, uh, Jasper's online persona, whether I like it or not, is Sir Barks a lot. That's pretty funny. That's really funny. Thank you, brother. So I wanted to, and by the way, Hawk, I'd love to have you come up briefly at some point tonight, if you'd like, before you get too tired. And I don't know, I got something in my throat. Out, out, go. He is a good dog, I tell you. Um, you needed to laugh. Now get to work. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, brother. So I was on that Spaces yesterday, and it was a lot of people were saying, the queue's been infiltrated, and it was possible that it happened between. It went from 4chan to 8chan to 8kun, and a lot of people think it was infiltrated between 8chan and 8kun. Well, I've never really been a proponent of that because the information that happened when Q came back on 8chan or 8kun was still very solid, I felt. Nothing really eye-opening, but it did say protect your DNA. Ascension was the final drop, and that's been my primary focus for me and my audience. And so and then also, if you look at the work that I've done in the past year, I have had very successful predictions based, coming from Ingersoll Lockwood. So I know that they are still talking to us, and I know that they're still putting out information that's very valuable. Um, Hey, everyone. Good to see you all. Much love. Thank you for being here. For all those who need to feel like they have a friend, no love like the Snedheads family gives. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you, Norma. That was really, really nice. Great. I see you, Hawk. And let's see. So, I was trying to get some. That's a good call, Sissy May. I'm going to do the spoonful of honey. I put a little bit in my tea. Sahara dust, Dave. Okay. So let me get into yeah, yeah, I did tell Jasper to fuck off. Yes, I did. Hey, that was good reading lips, Jen. You gotta love a dog that knows the meaning of fuck off. That's to me that you gotta have that. You gotta have that connection with the dog. Dave, what's your Cash App? Hey, Shruti, good to see you. My gosh, it's been a minute. It is here. Let me see. It's right on there. It's $ David Snedeker. Shruti, good to see you, and glad to have you back. So, my friends, all of this, all of this is being exposed, and it's being heightened at such a level of exposure. It's off the charts right now. So let me take you through some of the things that I want to show you. But before I do, one of the things I want to say, just kind of a wrap up from yesterday that I didn't get to. You remember when I was talking about the opening ceremony of the Olympics and um, uh, how the Last Supper was depicted, right? But then somebody said it was the feast of Dionysius or Dionysus, however you pronounce that, Dionysus. It was not supposed to be the feast of Dionysus because the woman, the heavy set woman in the middle who had the heart symbol, not heavy set, she's fat. She said she posted how they mocked the Last Supper, and then she changed it to the feast. Now, if somebody has that, would you please send it to my email because or a link to X or somewhere because I had trouble finding that, but it was actually her tweet that she changed after she got a lot of blowback. So that was an absolute mockery of the Last Supper, and that was what she said. So I'm guessing that she was in the know on that. Um, so I want to get over to uh, here to to X and just say thank you to Sherry C5. Thanks, Dave, for all you do for us. Thank you so much for your donation over there. RJ Minnick, thank you for being a monthly subscriber. You can subscribe monthly. Okay. RJ Minnick, thank you again. And guys, it doesn't have to be a lot. I get everything from, $1 to, $500, and the 500s are very rare. But much, much appreciated. And so, thank you for that. So over there, you got the little dollar sign down here if you want to do that and put a donation in here. And then you can put a rant in, you can say what you want to say. And then you're also kind of supporting Rumble, which is the only platform that's ever not kicked me off. So, I got a lot of love for Rumble. It's got some issues. I know it's owned by Peter Thiel, partly, and all that. But right now, folks, all my videos, I've got like 260 or so videos on Rumble, and they're real easy to access. If you go to my channel and you check it out, you'll see that you can scroll down and you can see all my shows going back a couple years, and you can go all the way down here. You can go to 4. You can see stuff I did with David Rodriguez. You can see stuff I did with Hawk. You can see my rant saved thousands of lives. You have to go through, like, there's a couple minutes where it's no audio, but get through that and you'll get to it. But that was pre-planned, PLANDEMIC. So a lot of good stuff on here, and so I do want to, if that sponsorship works for you through Rumble, please do that. And also, you can also do it through X as well. And what's going on with X is, that's the other platform that has kicked me off, but and has taken off a lot of my followers during the purge. But I will tell you that lately it has not been doing that, and I'm very glad for that. So you can also subscribe on X as well. So, my friends, without further ado, let me get into this crazy stuff that's going on. I'm not going to go in any particular order, but I will go to the bottom of the barrel. Well, let me go more recent first, and that is, actually, I want to get to Elon's stuff. Let me get to there. Let's see. There we are. Just had Elon up just a second ago, and this is really kind of odd what's going on with my screen here. My apologies here. I got to figure something out. I need the bigger screen for this. Okay. So let's talk Venezuela real quick. And Musk is doing some great stuff regarding Venezuela because it is the #1 platform, and the streets of Caracas are packed to the brim with protesters out to support opposition leader Maria Corina Machado during her first major speech since the election. Let's see. I thought it was Gonzalez that won that. Jasper, no. This is the news about #1 news app in Venezuela. So that's so people are getting the real news. And then an aerial shot of the citizen assembly called today by Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. Thousands of Venezuelans have gathered to show their support and demand democratic change in the country. Look at that. People are fed up, and with this absolute, as much as we're hurting, folks, think about how these people are hurting in Venezuela. I mean, they are so done with all this. And not a fan of Ian Miles Chong, so I don't share that. These are a couple Army captains that have a message to the soldiers. Just something to understand here. They are retired.
Hoy, 30 de julio del 2024, nosotros, capitanes
They're not
Javier y
active
Juan Carlos
military.
Nieto Quintero,
They were
miembros de las
imprisoned and
promociones
tortured by
Batalla de
Venezuelan
Mosquitero y
government
Batalla de
security
Ospino.
forces, and he is now out of Venezuela. I imagine it's very, very dangerous to be there right now, especially to be putting up this kind of a post. So, really, hats off to these people. And Musk said this is real. Narcotics rewards program offer, and this is our own DEA that are that tell you to contact them with any tips by phone or email. And it's a 202, so it's a DC number. And it's Nicolas Maduro. Reward of up to $15 million for information leading for the arrest and conviction. I don't know how long this has been out, but Musk just posted this today. If anybody has any information on that, please let me know. Yeah. So, okay. So this is, and one of the things I want to show you too, folks, is, and this is why I'm going through Musk's content right now. Normally I go through mine, but here's why I want to go through Musk's. Let me let Whiskers do this real quick. All right. Whiskers wanted to go into the garage, and he has a few cubbies in there that he likes. So, so the reason I'm on Musk is I want you to imagine something. Many of you are on Facebook, many of you are on YouTube, and I want you to imagine if Mark Zuckerberg was retweeting the kind of things that Musk was. I want you to think about if Sergey Brin or the YouTube folks, the Eric Schmidts, if they would be, retweeting the kind of things that promote Trump, that show the censorship of the whole situation with Donald Trump's assassination and things like that. So I wanted to show you some of Musk's stuff. Now, look at this. It sure looks like the FBI leadership engaged in perjury. You're not going to get that from Mark Zuckerberg, folks. You're not going to get that from at Jack. All right, you're not going to get that from any of these clowns that own these platforms. You're not going to get that from TikTok, owned by China. But you are going to get it from Musk, and the White Hats brought Musk in. The White Hats already had control of Twitter. I've shown you that. And they brought Musk in for this. Andrew Torba, breaking. The FBI is now claiming that Trump shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks had an unspecified social media account in 2019-2020 when he was 14, 15 years old that posted anti-immigrant and anti-Semitic content. This is not consistent with Gabb's understanding of the shooter's motives based on an emergency disclosure request we received from the FBI last week for the Gabb account, Epic Microwave, which, based on the content of that emergency disclosure request, the FBI appeared to think belonged to Thomas Crooks. Many, particularly regime media reporters, have doubted Gabb's claims that this request existed. Normally, we don't confirm the existence or content of law enforcement communications. In this instance, we had to make an exception due to the overwhelming public interest in disclosure and transparency. As a courtesy to law enforcement, we are not going to post the entire request. This is the first page of that request. This story is this: the account for which data was requested was unequivocally pro-Biden, and in particular, pro-Biden's immigration policy. To the best of Gab's knowledge, as of 2021, Crooks was a pro-lockdown, pro-immigration, left-wing Joe Biden supporter. How's that? Okay. This is how they roll. This is how they try to fool us. Here you go.
Just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account which is believed to be associated with the shooter in about the 2019-2020 timeframe. There were over 700 comments posted from this account. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature. While the investigative team is still working to verify this account to determine if it did in fact belong to the shooter, we believe it important to share and note it today, particularly given the general absence of other information to date from social media and other sources of information that reflect on the shooter's potential motive and mindset. These are the facts, in part, that the investigation has revealed to date. While the shooter is dead, our work is very much ongoing and urgent.
Dead men tell no tales, which is why the shooter is dead. That's why they always go with the lone shooter, because you know, it's a lone shooter, then they can control this. Again, folks, I'm going to share with you. This is a post from a repost from Elon Musk.
The U.S. is experiencing record inflation, the worst in 30 years, way beyond expectations. OPEC didn't increase oil production. Can you tell us a little bit about how you would prevent the new spending in your Build Back Better agenda from exacerbating the problem? And also, what else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously. But there is also a point that is important to make on the Build Back Better framework. One, it is designed to make it less expensive for working people to live. It was specifically designed to bring down the costs of childcare and increase accessibility and availability. Designed to bring down the cost of elder care. And make it available to all those working families that need that support and need that help. And Build Back Better is not going to cost anything. We're paying for it.
Wow. This is so how exciting that we have a platform where the owner of the platform is retweeting those kind of things, right? This is really, really important. And then he also does this. and the the reason I'm showing you this is I need you to understand how important X is right now.
Right into the Biden protest with the Trump shirt.
Watch as this guy goes to a Biden protest in a Trump shirt and a Trump event in a Biden shirt. You can clearly see the difference between Trump and Biden supporters.
And right into the Biden protest with the Trump shirt. Get your ass across the street. What the f is everyone so hostile?
Go over there with your people.
You guys are my people. Look.
No, you're not.
No, Biden says children, not Trump. No, stop. Don't snitch. Stop, I'm blending in. No. Why is everyone so angry? I'm just
Dumb or stupid.
I'm just walking the sidewalk. You see how much hate it is over here? It's a public sidewalk. I feel like I'm gonna get jumped out. Oh, man. When you poured water on me, did it make you feel happy?
Yeah.
I have to change shirts. Can I hide behind you? Okay.
Don't give me out.
Okay. I was feeling crazy today. Hey, come on. It's just so much more respect over here. I'm here for my favorite president, Biden 2024. I want to sniff children.
Watch as this guy goes to a Biden protest in a
So that's retweeted by Musk, right? And it's so important that we understand that how huge that is. We didn't have that in 2020. Okay. We didn't have that. All of us were censored in 2020. All of us were censored in 2016. The things about Hillary, the things about Biden were censored. And all of the, Patriot accounts were throttled and it's just amazing. And what happened after J6 as well. The December leading up to J6 is when I lost, I think, 5,000, viewers or followers on X. And most accounts, most that followed Q, were completely annihilated from X, at Twitter at the time. I think the reason I wasn't is because I didn't have Q in my name. I didn't have Q on my, banner or anything like that, because Q told us not to. Q said, go under the radar and be incognito. And so I'm really grateful that I was able to weather that storm and keep my account on X. But now, folks, look what we have at our disposal. I mean, that's why X is so important, is because, I think it's white hat controlled. And I think that Musk is completely, playing along. This is still the guy in the Baphomet costume. Okay. So let's not forget that. Let's not get carried away. Right. But what's really important to understand is whose side he is on. He's in terms of he's on the side of right. Here he's reposting the national debt, $35 trillion, and he says this is crazy. Okay, they should mix up the propaganda more. This is way too obvious. Now I want to play this for you, and I know many of you have seen it. Okay. But I want to play this for you, and I want to remind you where we were just a few days ago, when we went to the Q drops and went to the 4 a.m. The talking points. And Hawk is in the house. Come on up, brother. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing all right. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Did you have a nice meal?
Yeah, actually, and it's Miss Mindersu's fault. She made a donation a couple of days ago, and
Nice.
I luckily got a supply of dog food in almost a week's worth. So I got to buy groceries that time. And for the first time, I just made chicken cordon bleu on a smoker.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was good. It was good. I mean, there is absolutely nothing left. And the dogs got what was left. So, yeah. So
Awesome.
Anytime people talk about whether their donations are going for something good, yeah, it does. It does. And and they are appreciated. But Miss Mindersu, you are totally at fault of that. I probably gained 3 to 5 pounds, and it's all your fault. Okay, that's simple.
Well, good for you, brother. That's awesome. You got it. You need a good meal.
Yeah,
I'm switching up.
overbuilt.
What's
So
that?
you got. Do you know this overbuilt automotive? It's in the
Yeah.
chat there.
Where do I know that? Oh, yeah. Overbuilt. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's a total of 28 German Shepherds on this farm, young man. I believe you're a young man. I hope you're a young man. If not, I apologize for gendering you without permission. But yeah, it's I take in rescues and I breed as well. So, yeah. But thank you. Yeah, beautiful dogs. Pains in my ass. However, Dave's Jasper officially has an online persona.
I
Now
like
he just
it.
has to start posting videos of them and stuff like that, and we're good to
Like it.
go. So
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
think that's
man.
cool.
The video I've got is pretty fantastic. It's like such good stuff, and he's kind of hanging with the deer quite a bit.
Yeah,
which is,
that picture. Did you show everybody the picture of him sitting there with the deer?
I don't think I did, and actually, that was a video I think I sent you. But this is let me show everybody this. This is, folks, this is I want to say just the other day. And let me share it with you. I think you will enjoy it. And again, we need some of this great stuff, some of this love. All right, here it is. Let me play that for you. Might not have the audio. Do you have that audio?
No, we're not getting any audio.
Good. I'm glad you didn't leave. Yeah, he's
Oh,
not gonna
there you
hurt
go.
Even
Now
if
we
he
can hear
would,
you.
he wouldn't hurt you. Yeah. Yeah.
And him becoming tailored and accustomed like that to them being there keeps your, if necessary, food supply close by.
Yeah,
Because if you think about it, if the SHTF came along, okay, and you had to walk outside and put one down in order to feed yourself and your dog,
He's not gonna hurt you. No.
That's why I'm fattening him up. No, I'm teasing. This one, I don't know if that's pregnant or just nursing. I think she's the nursing mother.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah, I think it's a little too late in the season for him to be fawning. So yeah, so I think she's probably just finishing up nursing. It takes him about 35 to 60 days in order for the belly to suck back up.
Your mic is really loud, bro. How long does it take?
35 to 60 days for the udders to go and the milk to dissipate. Okay. What's left over. So
okay, that's good to know because I didn't know that. But there are two little ones that come up too, and they're from her. That's the one that stomped on him.
Yeah, it was probably protective,
Yeah,
in protection mode, but like I said, as I was telling you, watching him sitting out there at the fence the other day, and just watching him, that is such a great way to introduce the dogs so that he doesn't go running off to go chasing them, so if the fence was to disappear, he's not going to go running off after them if they were to leave.
Well, so far he has. The other day he was out there when we were putting the food out, and he took off after one. So I got to get him that place. What's that?
Yeah, my littlest, my Ahab, he looked back at me and then took a step off the porch, and I can just imagine what kind of trouble he's going to go get himself into now.
Just now, you mean?
Yeah. He's you know, the dogs, all the big dogs to him are Moby Dicks. He's Captain Ahab trying to bring down the whales. You know, it is so hilarious to watch. Yeah, it's nuts. And he's just he's not even 8 weeks old yet. You know, so but he's running around like he's the boss.
That's funny. Ahab.
Yeah.
So, hey, what was big for you today?
Well,
You know,
there was a couple of things. Number one, I really began to see the beginning of the second wave of censorship coming out of Facebook.
tell me more.
Oh, they tagged 16 of my videos that are anywhere between 2 to 4.5 years old. Most of them pray-a-thons.
Really?
Yeah, most of them pray-a-thons. And they're allowing foreign entities to be the one blocking our videos on Facebook. Almost all of them are foreign names, foreign nationals, never been to the United States, or they're companies from either Ukraine, from the UK, and then and one of the ones that had that went after a picture of something that happened at the Olympics was directly to the address of the International Olympic Committee. So, and the thing is it was a picture from the 2012 Olympics.
Wow. Interesting.
You're coming after me for all these videos. It's like the same thing that they did with Trump. They had all this time that they could have gone after him for all those crimes that they say that he committed, right? They waited until he said that he was going to run for a second term. Okay. You know, that he was going to run for this term. And then all of the lawfare began. It's almost identical to that they waited all this time gathering up all the possible things that they can get you for copyright and everything else. And they're now implementing it. I can see being gone off of Facebook within the next 30 days, honestly. So guys, if you're not following Dave on Rumble and you're not following him on X, I would recommend doing that now. Okay. Start getting used to it. Get used to the chat on X, get used to the chat on Rumble, and, you know, stop their ability of completely severing you from being able to find him again. I mean, it's that simple, you know, and I'm just saying this as big common sense. The second thing that surprised me today.
I was just going to say, because right now, go ahead.
The second, well, it can wait. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, because there's almost 200 of you on Hawk's YouTube channel. And as the election nears, I agree with Hawk that things are really stepping up, and it's going to be really difficult to stay on YouTube and Facebook. But Facebook especially, and then there's almost 30 of you on Hawk's Facebook channel right now. So come on over to X. It's easy to make an account. Rumble, you don't even need to make an account. You can just go over and watch it. And they just throw 2 videos at you, 2 commercials before the start of every video, and that's it. So, but that's a good point, Hawk, to do that.
We've got to be smart about it now, so that if this channel disappears, if 25 disappears on YouTube, if Hawk J. Marsden on Facebook disappear, then you're cut off from Dave and you're cut off from me.
Yeah.
I'll be able to be easy to be found as quickly as I can get another channel made on YouTube. But the fact of the matter is that where it comes to the Facebook side, Lord only knows when we'll be able to get something back on there again. And it probably won't be until after the election. And there's a big correction and that Section 230 goes in. There needs to be major lawsuits done against all of them, YouTube and Facebook.
Yep.
And there are a couple other platforms. I think Parler was another one. It got bought up by one conglomerate and then basically shut down. They came in with their money, no different than what BlackRock and Vanguard do. They go in and State Street. They go in, they buy up as many shares of a company as they can until they have the domineering number, and then they get the business shut down over a short period of time. It's a hostile takeover. And that's basically what they're trying to do with our speech is a hostile takeover. But the second topic that really got me going today was these guys testifying what Kennedy did to the FBI deputy director, Paul Abate. It wasn't space laders, it wasn't murder hornets, it wasn't Sasquatch. It was a bullet. Because of the fact of what Ray said that we don't know. He might have been hit by a piece of glass. Well, the teleprompters were solid. There was nothing wrong with the teleprompters. So where's the glass coming from?
Right. Yeah.
It
was just very odd that they would even go there. Like it's just so ridiculous, right?
Yeah. Give me a second here. I'm gonna get into my settings and see where my microphone is set at. I don't change it often. Let's take it down to about there. I get loud when I'm passionate. That's primarily when it's an issue, and you're passionate a lot, and you've also got a very deep, gravelly voice that penetrates, and so, it's kind of like a less is more kind of thing, and because you carry so well, so for crying out loud, you sang, how many people have you sang to over the years? The largest crowd was 131,000. Smallest crowd was 50 people.
What was that 131,000 story? Real quick.
Like an orgasm.
Oh man.
I'm not kidding. It was like an orgasm. I'm telling you. And when I walked off stage, there were people there that wanted to meet with me and talk with me and everything. And I beelined it for the bus. Didn't say a word to anybody. Walked off stage. Had tears rolling out of my eyes because I was so overjoyed. But anxiety and PTSD kicked in right then as I was going down those steps to walk off stage, and that was it. I couldn't do it.
Interesting.
Most interesting show was filling in for Jerry Lewis on his own telethon. From the rooftop of the parking garage of the Mohegan Sun Casino. That was the most interesting of all because I got to meet so many artists. And always got to ask the questions that I always wanted to ask. Why didn't you turn into an asshole? Was always one of my first questions. These were people who were just always down to earth musicians. James Taylor was one of them, and that was before he went woke, obviously. But I said, you had the opportunity to really become an asshole. But you always stayed so personable with your entire audience. Everybody that you had the opportunity to mingle with, you mingled with. How did you do that? How were you capable of doing that? Because of that walking off the stage, I needed to know how he got past that moment that I experienced walking down the steps. You know, how were you able to get out there and just shake everybody's hand and talk to every single person? You know,
You had this conversation with JT?
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yep.
And what did he say?
He said, well, the first comment was if I had a light for a joint, but I didn't say that. And the second thing was he says, I focus on the individual and I don't see anybody else around them. So every time I went to shake a hand, the people who were standing right next to them became invisible to me. And I was just like, whoa, yeah, different perception. How you perceive the crowd is how you'll end up treating the crowd. And he was able to get personal because he made it possible to be personal. You know, was I ever able to implement that? No. No. But I'm glad to see that he did. Carole King was the same way.
I love her.
Carole King was the exact same way. She said greeting the women was absolutely no problem. She said, but the men were always hands. They were always hands. You know,
really.
Constantly,
that was a different era. It was a different era.
Yeah.
Very special era, though. That time with Carole King and Tapestry and James Taylor in the 70s. That was a beautiful, beautiful time. You know, and it was, you know, what's really interesting is that, you know, we are children, you and I, and many of us here, we are children of the revolution. You know, we are the children of the parents of the people that were saying Vietnam is all wrong, Korea is all wrong. You know, my dad still doesn't talk to me after World War I or World War II. You know, war is bad. Enough is enough. What are we doing over in Southeast Asia? And also, and it was predominantly because of, and you know this, you know the history of this much better than I, so I defer to you. But my take on this is that primarily it was due to cannabis and LSD. And the LSD was being placed into the campuses around the United States because of the MK Ultra program. Yep. And how they were trying to use that to brainwash the population and recruit and enlist sex slaves, information slaves, and assassins. But because both of those things break the mind control.
Yeah.
And that's what we needed to break free from, especially after the 50s, where the 40s and 50s, which were rife with Freudian psychology being used against us because of Edward Bernays and his public relations and marketing techniques that he got from Uncle Siggy. And so we had to break free from that brainwashing that was so prevalent in the decades prior to the 60s and 70s. Time travel.
It's the music of that era. If you listen to, here's a prime example. The Fifth Dimension. If you got the Fifth Dimension album, Aquarius, okay, and you listen to that album from one end to the, completed the whole album, and using the mind that you have today about the music of today and how they inserted messages, you will see that it seems like half of those musicians were time travelers, because they knew exactly what was coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Time travel is fun. Is today's Delta. Okay. After I went down the path yesterday with Ingersoll Lockwood, and with the because Biden. Did you see my show last night?
I saw a good portion of it. I had to go to sleep about 3/4 of the way through it.
So you saw the part about Biden talking about his professor Ingersoll,
Yep.
right? And how that was just unbelievable, and just took me right into the
Ingersoll Lockwood.
Ingersoll Lockwood, and then all the things that were that are being spoken to us about Ingersoll, and yesterday they actually had a song that mentioned Ingersoll.
Yep.
And so it's like, wow, okay, so what's going on here? It's very, I mean, the comms that are coming at us, brother, is just unbelievable. I wanted to go back to that thing you were talking about. What was the second thing you said that
Was Kennedy at the hearings today?
yeah, tell me about that, because I did not see that.
He basically went at the I think he's the here. I'm going to drop it into X. I'm going to drop the link into X. The messages there on X, so you can pull it up, because a lot of your viewers may not have seen this at all. Is that it?
Let's see.
Oh, what the hell? Oh no, my computer's just giving me a pain in the ass. The circle thingy.
Oh, okay.
There we go. It was put up by Mischief. I like the stuff Mischief puts up. He's not consistent with the type of stuff he puts up, but he always puts up stuff that has purpose and meaning. He doesn't put any joking things up at all. Did you see it?
Is it there now?
Yeah.
In messages?
Yeah. Check your messages.
Just came up.
Yeah.
Mr. Abate. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, Senator. Thank you.
You are the Deputy Director of the FBI, is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
Is there any doubt in your mind or in the collective mind of the FBI that President Trump was shot in the ear by a bullet fired by the assassin crooks?
Senator, there is absolutely no doubt in the FBI's mind
It
whether former President Trump was hit with a bullet and wounded in the ear. No doubt, there never has been.
Okay.
I've been part of this investigation since the very beginning, and that has never been raised.
You're sure?
Yes.
It wasn't a space laser.
No.
It wasn't a murder hornet.
Absolutely not.
It wasn't Sasquatch.
No, Senator.
It was a bullet
It was a bullet, Senator. 100%.
fired by crooks
Yes, sir.
that hit President Trump in the ear and almost killed him.
100%, Senator.
So all these rumors going on X about how this was staged and how a bullet obviously had to have gone through one of the teleprompters and things. Well, I'm going to tell you, they were taking photographs from the time that the Secret Service began covering him, right? And it showed both of the teleprompters completely intact. No bullet holes, no shattered glass, anything like that. It's a flipping bullet.
Yeah.
And this narrative that the mainstream media is constantly trying to lead people in this direction or lead them in that direction is really getting to be just 100% irritable. Because, you know, corruption is corruption, and we are seeing the levels of all of it. Per event that happens, we see another layer of the corruption. Every time we see these hearings, we see another layer of the corruption. Where do we draw the line?
Yeah. You know, it's, I think that Ray, you know, on the day, if you remember, on the day that he testified, I forget what day it was, but the, it was, I believe it was Ray as a sleeper. And I believe he might have testified. What day did he testify?
I think it was Wednesday or Thursday of last week.
And that would be, I agree. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. Let's try the 24th. And it was, but it was very, very interesting. That it was, you know, it was the Delta, and it was Ray as a sleeper. And so, how do you make sense of that? Like, what are the odds? And folks, what day did he testify? What can you tell me? Pretty easy. Let's see. Ray testimony 6 days ago. Let's see. So that would have been, the 24th.
Right?
No, it was updated on the 24th. Let's see. If you like, well, no, that was 2023 now. Let's see. Hmm. 4 days ago. Yeah, it was 6 days ago. So I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24th or 25th. But it was either the day of or the day before. And let me see. Let me just see if I can find day of sleep. See if I- well, it was off by a little bit. Ray is a sleeper. Future marker was actually yesterday, which is very, he's very much in the news with that comment. And then July 19th, Ray is a sleeper. Was a repost from 2019, July 29th. Ray is a sleeper was also posted on July 19th again. And here's it again, July 29th, the original. Thank you for confirming. Coats bad. Ratcliffe good. Sleepers present. Present problems regarding staff fills. More coming? Question mark. Q. Ray is a sleeper. And Q says future marker. Future market. Thank you for all my patrons. Shruti Singh, Sophia Sanders, Janet Flynn, Bernadette Reagan, Anna Clark, Edward Quinn, Kelly Land, Crystal Asbro, Ingrid Casper, and Virginia McGonigal. Most of those were from yesterday, so thank you very much for that. Yesterday, I believe, in the day before.
Dave, something happened with your microphone. You went from talking really, really clear to being muffled.
Is that right? And how about now?
There you go. There you go. What did you have?
Was it because I was maybe over here like that? Was that
no?
what?
No. It was
Okay.
just everything you just said for like the last 3 minutes has all been muffled.
Really?
Almost like talking like this. It sounded like you were talking like this.
Oh man, I I knocked my microphone off the other day, and it is and I'm very concerned about it.
acting-
Yeah, I've had a few moments where it's not been what it used to be, and so I hope that's not the case. But yeah, let me know.
You're back
Hit
to
me up
normal
right.
now,
Okay, hit me up right away if that happens again, please.
Yep, absolutely.
So just thank you to all the patrons who I have listed down below. Shruti, Sophia, Janet, Bernadette, Anna, Edward, Kelly, Crystal, Ingrid, and Virginia. Most of those were from yesterday. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate your support. So so that was interesting. The thing that I was about to show, and I imagine it's this weird thing, right? But before I do that, I want to go to this. This is Maduro, and I'm not quite sure the date on this, but let me play this for you here.
Ellos ponen una sonrisa de frente, diplomacia por engaño, pero por detrás tienen el puñal. Y si les crees a su sonrisa, te descuidas, te volteas, te apuñalean. Así ellos han actuado casi 200 años, asesinando presidentes, asesinando líderes en el mundo, asesinando presidentes en Estados Unidos. John F. Kennedy. ¿Quién lo mató? El sistema. Comprobado. Crearon lo que hoy se conoce un falso positivo, con un tal señor de apellido Oswald. Eso es conocido. Bien denunciado en un documental película llamada JFK. Bastante documentado. Kennedy lo mata la mafia criminal de Miami y lo mata la CIA. Porque él pensaba y estaba trabajando por acabar la guerra de Vietnam y por entenderse con Cuba y cesar el bloqueo y la agresión contra Cuba. De hecho, se conoce que el mismo día que lo matan, a la misma hora que se sabe la noticia, un 22 de noviembre de 1963, Fidel Castro estaba en Varadero, en una casa protocolar, y estaba conversando con un enviado especial del presidente Kennedy. Y le estaba entregando 2 cajas de puros, de habanos, para que se lo llevara de regalo, porque al presidente Kennedy le gustaban los puros cubanos. Y en ese momento entró uno de los asistentes del presidente Fidel Castro, el comandante Fidel Castro, creo que era primer ministro para entonces, y le dio la infausta noticia. Prendieron el radio y se enteraron de las noticias. El mismo día, a la misma hora, estaba Fidel recibiendo un enviado especial para conversar un plan de regularización de las relaciones. El sistema lo asesinó. Tiene un largo historial de asesinatos, golpes de Estado en el mundo y mucho dinero de por medio. Recientemente condenamos el intento de asesinato del expresidente Donald Trump y hay muchas dudas de quienes protegían a Donald Trump, de que por qué permitieron a ese tirador pararse ahí. Hay muchas dudas que se han expresado en Estados Unidos. Ahora están tratando de tapar eso.
It's obviously recent because they're talking about Trump.
Ese imperio acostumbrado a la violencia, a los golpes de Estado, preparó un escenario sobre Venezuela.
So basically he's saying that, this is a CIA coup, which is what's happening down in Venezuela. that the CIA is involved in. How interesting that Musk
That's what it's
just
saying. But the thing is isn't that how
what I was saying
is that
is
how he
what's
got in the office into office to begin with?
could be. I mean, I believe so. I mean, most of the Central America and South America are coups by the CIA. They've got quite the reach down there. But also how interesting that Musk retweeted the post about the DEA having a $15 million bounty out on Maduro. And I don't know how long ago that was, but that was pretty telling. But he's basically saying, maybe they're MJ Truth says maybe they're swapping out one puppet for another, right? My wife, Matt Raff, says, my wife is from Venezuela, left 5 years ago. All her family is there. Every day life is hell. They all hate Maduro. They hate socialism. The CIA doesn't need to step in. The people are all fed up. Yeah, I believe that as well. Yeah.
We're seeing that here too. It's people are fed up with it. They're just, they're ready for it to end.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also how poignant, how timely, Hawk, that we're seeing this reaction to an election there without as a kind of a mirror, holding up a mirror to our own. And the difference is, we have shown up in great numbers many times to protest that. And the one time that we did, they created a false flag to make us all look bad. Yeah. So very telling. The thing I wanted to jump to is I'm going to get over to my ex here in a second, and one of the things that and then I'm going to get into some time travel stuff, which I think will be fun. But this letter from did you see this today? This was an email by a Secret Service member, whistleblower, regarding creation of the Advanced Research and Capabilities Division in the Office of Technical Development and Mission Support Tech Directorate. Thank you for the backing and support. I'm not stopping until 5 high-level supervisors, one down, are either fired or removed from their current positions. Now, the one down is obviously the director of the Secret Service, Cheadle. And she had to resign herself. She should have been fired. This agency needs to change, if not now, when? The next assassination attempt in 30 days, ? Because we all should expect another attempt to happen before November. We've exposed our inability to protect our leaders due to our leadership. The technicians who worked on 7/13/24 in Butler, Pennsylvania, did their job with their hands tied. Secret Service supervisors knew better, and the foot soldiers working made the best of a bad situation that resulted in a civilian death and a near miss of the protectee, and our technicians shooting and killing the suspect. I know many look at the CS team as guys who sit on the roof and don't do much, and that's the CS's counter sniper. But our responsibility, our mission is not about protecting an empty White House located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's about preventing and stopping another JFK-style assassination in whatever city that may be. Sadly, we have fallen short for years. We just got lucky and looked good doing it. I have conveyed these thoughts to not only supervisors, to include the current captain within Counter Sniper, but those responsible for training us, SOTS-CS. Do you know what SOTS is? Only to be brushed off.
SOTS, standard operating procedures.
Operation tactical systems or something. I don't know. Only to be brushed off as if those with less experience somehow knew more than me. The team I was once proud to be a part of is something I have to now somehow hide as I move into my next career. Who wants to hire a U.S. Secret Service counter sniper guy who failed? That's the public perception I'm now faced with. The U.S. Secret Service counter sniper team is a stain I will never be able to cleanse. Some of us take our job and responsibility seriously, deadly serious. I may be overzealous, but after 7 years in the Marine Corps, your fellow Marine, as an NCO and 20 plus years on the U.S. Secret Service counter sniper team, failure is not an option. And on 7/13/24, we failed, not because of commitment or sense of dedication, but because our supervisors, aka leadership, knew better and thought our concerns were less than important. The motto of the U.S. Secret Service, CYA, and every supervisor is doing it right now. That's cover your ass. How about that for an email?
Yeah.
That was today. That was today. And it's somebody within the Secret Service, and I don't know. Marta says synchronous orbiting tracking station. That doesn't sound like that doesn't sound like it's something with the SS. Is it something? Is it could be another SOTS, Marta? Because that doesn't sound accurate unless it's something in the sky. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's unforgivable. What happened? What went down on the 13th? Whether or not, it was, stopped by Trump's team and then carried out in a way that it was to project what they were going to do and what they were going to successfully do. Is one thing, but certainly there was a coup and a plan of attack. And as soon as they failed, look at the move they had to make with Joe Biden. They wouldn't have needed to do that. If Trump went down, they just ride Biden as like a until the horse dies, basically.
There you go. Special Ops Tactical SWAT.
Special Ops Tactical SWAT. Yes, that sounds more like
or service. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Devin. Yeah.
So there are just so many things about the 13th that are, very somewhat very confusing because, you think about what happened with Kennedy, within 2 weeks, after Kennedy's assassination, they came up with the term conspiracy theorist, within 2 weeks afterwards. They started promoting that on television, and then that one report came out and it became, and conspiracy theorist became the conspiracy theory became the talking point of every major news outlet worldwide.
I don't think that happened until 68 when the Warren Report came out.
Was that 68?
Yeah.
I could have swore it came out earlier than that.
Yeah, I
Because
think
I
I
know people-
thought I did too, and I think I was corrected on that a while back. But I mean, that was the reason. I mean, we're splitting hairs here from 50 years ago, but that was the reason they did it, was because of Kennedy. That's how they had to try to discredit those who were, questioning the narrative that they were being spoon-fed.
Yep. People were calling out Oswald as a patsy then, and that there was more to it. And, and then you had the people who were actually there that saw things that were basically told, shut up, never talk again, or you'll disappear. Is basically what they were told. And it's like, I have this weird feeling that they're trying to do the exact same thing with this attempt on Trump, trying to rebuild that the auspice of what their conspiracy theorist was originally created for, and just make us all crazy, but you're looking at 80% of the country that believe that there's a hell of a lot more to this story than what they're telling us.
Yeah.
So you're telling 80% of the country that they're psycho and that they're crazy and loony and everything else. I would say maybe 30% of the country is there, but 80%, absolutely not.
Dude, check out this thing. I think this is from the Olympics. I don't know if you've seen it.
X messenger there.
A good brain.
Yeah, but you better be ready to laugh when you hear this. You especially had better be ready to laugh.
I've seen this. This is great. This is great. I haven't shown this yet, so I will show it. Here it is.
Make it full screen.
I can't, for some reason, I can't make that full screen.
I think it's because your X window is blown up too much. So if you hold down your control key and scroll back your little wheel 1 or 2 clicks, then it'll shrink it down just enough that you'll be able to make it full screen and it won't give you a problem.
Oh, you mean like make it smaller?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
See, now you got the 3 rows. Now click on it, and I bet it'll come up with for you.
There we go.
I used to believe everything I'd see on the news, but that's before I discovered a brain.
A brain is meant for everyday use. Those living with moderate to severe stupidity have seen immediate improvement in common sense with a brain.
I thought the government had my best interests at heart, and then a friend told me about a brain.
Talk to your doctor about what news sources you obey. A brain may also lower your desire to take life-altering advice from celebrities.
Getting lectured about my carbon footprint from people with 3 private jets used to make sense. But thanks to a brain, now I can think for myself every day. When my disregard for 3rd grade biology began to flare up, I knew it was time for a brain.
Do not try a brain if you're allergic to a brain. Common side effects may include accountability, discernment, homeschooling your kids, a better understanding of economics, awareness of the stupidity of socialism, and diarrhea.
For tethering yourself to reality, the only no-brainer is choosing a brain. Ask your doctor if a brain is right for you.
For more information, visit tryabrain.com.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's genius, man. That dude. I mean, talk about that. That's probably the viral video of the week without question.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
absolutely.
So this was what I was about to go to on my channel, and let me see here. Let me get there. And it was this absolute a couple of things, but the censorship is going is going off the charts, dude. Like you were just talking about. And why? Let me see. Well, let me get to this first. Do you remember this interview with Patrick Byrne?
Which one?
I'm going to play it for you now. This was right around the time, right before J6.
I bribed Hillary Clinton $18 million. I facilitated a bribe for Hillary Clinton on January 14th, 2016, right here in this town. On behalf of the FBI, they came to me on September 1st, 2015. They told me Hillary Clinton had accepted a bribe from Turkey for $20 million. They told me that I would be working for a group in New York, FBI agents, who had authorization to set Hillary Clinton up in a sting. They asked me to facilitate a bribe for her, an $18 million bribe from another government. The bag man from that other government I was to befriend, and I was to get that person 10 minutes alone in a room with Hillary Clinton. I did. On January 14th, 2016, Hillary Clinton was in this town, and she met in a way that was kept off her schedule, accepted an $18 million bribe. Well, General Barr knows this. This is the Durham. They know this was what is behind it all. And I'll even tell you, I'm going to drop one more thing. I've been waiting to say this publicly, and this is what really happened. I will tell you, if you hear this and you give me 90 seconds, your viewers will understand what's happened in the last 5 years in America. I've been waiting to say this on mainstream TV, and they will not have me back, because once they understood what this was about. I had Hillary Clinton. I caused Hillary Clinton. I facilitated a bribe, and she took a second bribe for $18 million. And I worked with the FBI as I did that. They're deeply involved in this. They came to me 3 days later and told me I had to forget about it and forget that it ever happened. And I said, "What are you talking about?" And they gave me one excuse. They said, Hillary's going to win, and it's been decided upstairs. Nothing's going to be able to stop that now. So she's going to win, and she's going to send her people over to the FBI and ask who was part of investigating Hillary, and any of us who were part of it are going to be destroyed, and that includes you too, Patrick. And so this mission has been scrubbed from the highest level. But 2 or 3 weeks later, I was back with 3 federal agents this time. 3 federal agents. And I let them know that wasn't sitting, and this is in Salt Lake City, Utah, and that wasn't sitting well with me. And I'd like to know why. We had almost a year before the election. They could have had me and another person in front of a grand jury in a week and gotten her indicted. They told me, this is word for word, "Patrick, what's really going on is this. President Obama has his people across the federal bureaucracy at this point, but especially the Department of Justice. Hillary Clinton is going to be president for 8 years, and nothing's going to change that. But think of there being a Bunsen burner within the Department of Justice. That evidence about the 2 bribes you were part of gathering is going to be sitting on the Bunsen burner. And the hand on the Bunsen burner is going to be one of Barack Obama's people. If Hillary's a good girl and defends Obamacare, that flame stays low. If she's a bad girl and thinks for herself, it's going to get turned up high. That way, Barack Obama is going to manage Hillary Clinton for the 8 years she's president. Then she's going to step down, and Michelle's going to run. And Patrick, that's the plan. That plan was called the Operation Snow Globe. That was Brendan Obama's name for it. Snow Globe, they were trying to get Hillary to step into a snow globe. I'm looking for a prop, a snow globe that anytime they wanted, they could then pick up and shake for 8 years. My bribe was the bait to get her to step into the snow globe. That's all from it. This isn't a theory. I'm the guy in the room. I'm acknowledging I took part in all this, and I thought I was helping them conduct federal law enforcement. It turned out that I was helping them set up Hillary Clinton for for a deep state to control her. From Obama against Hillary, that when Trump won in a fluke, it got morphed into the Russian collusion delusion. The reason I mentioned that I knew in October 2018 that this was going to happen was because in 2018 I was offered, a federal agent came to tell me, Patrick, you need to understand there are billionaires walking around this world that we made, and we're prepared to do the same for you. You just have to stay calm. You just have to stay quiet through the election. And by that election, I knew he meant 2020 election. So I've known that they were going to hijack this election since October of 2018.
So,
Yeah, I do remember that.
So that was just to kind of give everybody a kind of a timeline of that. That was at Trump National Hotel. That was leading up to the J6 when a lot of people were talking about the election, and all of his team was over there. And when I say team, like his proponents, like um, let's see, at the time, General Flynn was there. Patrick Byrne, what's her name? Sidney Powell. It was like kind of like a Trump camp. Let's see. Overbuild Automotive said he was on Roseanne Barr podcast, and he's coming back very soon to tell more crazy stuff as a must see. So the question is, what happened? You know, we've seen Sidney Powell kind of be exposed. We've seen Flynn kind of be exposed. We've seen Patrick Byrne kind of be exposed as possible, you know, that they weren't pro-Trump to begin with. And so it really is, you know, we have to figure out, like, are these people good? Are these people bad? And we got to get to the bottom of that. Faith over fear. I don't know who to trust. It's really difficult. But it's also kind of heightened, right? By the way, did anybody have any sound issues over on Rumble? Tricia, I'm glad you're over here on X, because Moonbeam had to jump off because she had sound problems. So ready for this to be over. Yes, many of us, we all are. Marta is dropping the link for the Roseanne Barr show interview with Patrick Byrne. Thank you, Marta, for that. I'd like to interview Roseanne. And so if you guys are ever in her chat or whatever, please talk me up. We've met before. No sound problems over on Rumble. Okay, great. So it's just
periodically they have to refresh. You know, you have to, you know, Facebook or YouTube runs into it a lot. Facebook runs into it. I've seen it a few times on Rumble. You know, a quick, simple refresh of it, pretty much, you know, fixes things. So, and Marta says the only time there was a sound issue is when you had your head down and you sounded muffled. And that's when you adjusted your microphone, and it's been working fine since then. So,
okay, great. Yeah, it looks like a few of you saw that interview with Roseanne.
I would like to see. I would love to see you interview Roseanne. I think that would be a very, very interesting thing. We would have to be really, really careful on the YouTube side, but Facebook, I think you could get away with 100%. YouTube might be a little bit of a problem because they've censored the hell out of her.
I'd want to go deep with her, so I'd probably keep off your channels for that, because I'd want to go deep. I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to worry.
Clips over.
Yeah, and then maybe you could just you could edit out some of the stuff, you know, or just mute out some of the stuff. They're you know. Yeah, I met her at Kelly Carlin's a couple times. She's met my daughter. my ex, and we've, had conversations, but probably wouldn't remember me. She'd remember my daughter. She'd remember that I was the only person there with a child, I'm sure. But this is, I think she'd be a fascinating interview. And so I want to get word to her. This is, this is this 4 a.m. talking point about the weird stuff. I was just looking for that weird compilation that somebody put together. Here it is. I think Grabian did it. So let me pull this
Sounds
up for
about right.
everybody. Okay. And Fletch shared it. Fletch 17. Here we go.
Some of what he and his running mate are saying, well, it's just plain weird.
These guys are just weird. That's who they are.
As weird and creepy as JD Vance. Super weird idea from JD Vance.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's quite weird. Just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
That stuff is weird. They come across weird and then they start being weird. Yeah, they're weird.
Being a really weird.
He's such a weirdo.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate are weird. Deeply and profoundly weird. They are weird.
These Republicans just being weird. It's just weird. It's really weird.
Republican weirdness goes even deeper.
He said a lot of things that are weird, a weird style that he brings, weird policies. Let's start with the weird thing, because it is a thing.
Just plain weird.
What was weird was his talking about Diet Mountain Dew. Who drinks Diet Mountain Dew?
You ever seen the guy laugh? That seems very weird to me that that an adult can go through 6.5 years of being in the public eye. If he has laughed, it's at someone, not with someone. That is weird behavior.
Weird and cultish.
These are weird people on the other side.
He kind of doubled down on his weird ideas.
I think weird is probably generous.
Simply weird. These guys are just plain weird.
Vance as weird?
You know, as the campaign said, weird.
It really is just plain weird.
JD Vance, plain weird.
I mean, I don't know how else you could read it.
Weird. It is kind of weird.
We're not afraid of weird people. The other side, they're just weird.
Why are you being so weird?
Vance has done something more extreme, more weird.
No matter what kind of weird stuff they keep saying.
Trump and Vance are just weird. In addition to being dangerous to democracy.
That's the weird part that's the most engaging.
Whom he addressed as my beautiful Christians, which was super weird.
Weird tech bro, JD Vance.
He's a weird guy.
JD Vance, uneasy and sort of weird.
Frankly, for lack of a better word, that he's weird.
Sarcastic remarks that aren't even funny, and he kind of shows that he can't really deliver a one-liner.
So, Sam, weird is the word here in terms of initial impressions from Vance to the American public.
My beautiful Christians, okay, just that one sentence right there, he was talking about, bringing God back into America, and he was talking to the Christians in his crowd.
Right.
Because he knows that it's our responsibility as Christians to reach our hands out and help other people. Okay. And help other people find him. Not always so much about just finding general information, but your relationship with the Creator and you is so important. And that's basically what he was saying, there are, the normal white is correct. There are a couple of Q drops that say weird in them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to pull them up. I'll let you do that because you have a faster computer than I do.
Well, what I really wanted to get to,
go ahead,
was the 4 a.m. talking points on the heels of that. It's not an accident. Like, these people didn't hear one of the other people say it and they thought, oh yeah, I'll talk about that. This is why this is so being brought to us in such clarity, is because we are absolutely seeing the collapse of this, the indoctrination in such a way that they're exposing it to us very clearly, very, very clearly. Okay. They are experiencing, what we are experiencing is the collapse of this narrative and this narrative control. Q talked to us about the 4 a.m. talking points. Twitter today releases ban. Was Twitter told to by MSM to demonstrate impact? Do you think they got the 4 a.m. memo? Coincidence? All for conspiracy? Enjoy the show. Q talks about the 4 a.m. talking points by these really corrupt and Mockingbird media news agencies. And this is how they control all of us. 4 a.m. What will tomorrow be? Coordinated. What happened to Stormy? Fake news, right? Time of publish, 4 a.m. Timing of drop. Coincidence? Fight to reinstall roadblock. The time of publish, time of drop. Coincidence? This is all just manipulation. Push fake news, 4 a.m. MSM pre-bad news, them. These stories will only hurt us if we keep pushing hard and get too much chatter out there. Talking points, 4 a.m. MSM is fake news, propaganda. Talking points, 4 a.m. Private email addresses, paid contractors, Judgment Day. Okay. This is the kind of thing that they put out there. The FBI opened a case on Q today regarding boom statements and now the Texas bombings. Coordinated to end comms here. Predictable. They are scared. 4 a.m. They will fail. We know the details. Okay. The 16-year plan to destroy America. Patrick Byrne was just talking about that. They never thought she would lose. Okay. Narrative intercept, 4 a.m. Sessions Nunes, Russian ops. This is how they do it, folks. They put it right up in our face. MSM is fake news. The private email addresses are how they put those out there. Many times it's Q has told us it's a Gmail account that they don't even send over the airwaves. They just put it in drafts, and then everybody goes into the same account and sees the talking points in their Gmail, in that Gmail account, in drafts. So then it never goes over the airwaves. They also have burner phones, and that's what Q even says. Why do the mainstream media? Why do they all have these burner phones? And then they also have these secret Twitter accounts. And so what I posted, when was that? Was that today? Let me see here. Was that yesterday or today? Man, when I'm posting so much, dude, that I can't even find what I'm looking for in one day. Here it is. Okay. Chin up, white people. The Jewish media and many others want you to hate yourself. This is, 4 a.m. talking points on the Jewish and the media and so forth. And then my previous post was, here it is. Mockingbird Media gets talking points every day at 4 a.m. via burner phones, private emails, and private Twitter X accounts. Elon Musk, what can you tell us about the private X accounts? Okay. And then I showed you how do you get your talking points? Okay. think public and private Twitter accounts, they all have them. These people are stupid. We have it all. This is one of the posts where Q tells us we have it all. And then the one I just read to you, talking points 4 a.m. private email addresses, right? And I retweeted Fletch 17. So so that's key. And then of course, Hawk, when they get a talking point like Trump, maybe saying I'm not a Christian, when it's obvious he's speaking to Christians, he's speaking about how much he loves Christians. He's speaking about, like you said, God back into government. Why would he say I'm not a Christian? It's like the dumbest thing you could possibly say. But when the MSM gets something like that, it's like a dog with a bone. They don't let it go. And they put out the talking points. Everybody address the Christian thing, right? So, it's very, well, here's the thing. This is a great point by Nita Bells. If they would finally take over the media to speak right, a lot more people would wake up, since that's who they listen to. Well, Nita, I agree with you, and I think what they're doing is slowly taking over the media. What you saw was they took over X, and they took it over in such a way that Musk, who was their golden child, their idol, who was saving the planet and doing all these things, the left, everyone wanted a Tesla, everyone wanted to be with Musk or be like him. And the white hats brought him in to share the Twitter files. Otherwise, the people that we really needed to see them wouldn't have seen them if it was somebody like Trump. I've said that many times. So in a sense, they're kind of taking over slowly. Look what they've done with Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was just working for controlled opposition not too long ago. And it wasn't like he quit. He was fired. So now he's saying all the things that we want to say, and he's been talking about 9/11 like he's known all along. Meanwhile, he was one of the biggest proponents of not only the false 9/11 story, but that even questioning that your government did it was blasphemy. So yeah, no, I slowed the audio down, Boo Baby. I do believe he said that, but what I'm saying is, and what Hawk and I are saying is, they're kind of jumping on this and taking this opportunity to, oh, that's cool, dude. That's cool. We got a little light on the doggies. That's very cool. I think you're muted.
This is Gizmo.
Hey, Gizmo.
When he was born, he looked like that little gremlin Gizmo from the movie, and he's grown up to be a good dog. But yeah,
cool.
It's half the time it's the only way I can count them, because their bodies stack up all the way to the back of the room, and when I close the door, they start coming in the dog door, and this room will be filled from this end of the room all the way to the other end with dog bodies. And I always do a count because I want to make sure that everybody's there, and they do. It's when they go to the bathroom, if one gets up to go out, the whole group goes out, everybody goes to the bathroom, and then they all come back in and they lay down for another 4 hours. So
yeah, I got my hands full with just a cat and a dog over the next several days, so I don't know how you do it, man. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So really, really
But
some exposure here is what we're seeing.
Yeah, that the 4 a.m. talking points, I think that there's a semblance that part of part of this push to say things that people are all recognizing as Mockingbird style. It's almost like it's the 4 a.m. talking points are now pushing towards, okay, guys, we're going to expose Mockingbird and we're going to make it super obvious for even the dumbest person worldwide, and when we see the weird come out and you play that compilation, that's basically exactly what you're showing is, okay, yeah, here's your 4 a.m. talking point exposing themselves. I had said to you, and I think Script was on at the same time with us. And I said to you guys, one of the things that I would really love to see is groups of people actually showing up outside of these studios with signs saying, tell the truth or shut down. At the same time that we have this CIA 4 a.m. talking points push, how about we create a narrative that they can't ignore and they have no choice but to report on?
Yep.
Do you remember the just before the 2020 election when Antifa and BLM stormed CNN?
Yeah.
Well, they experienced a violent protest, right? And we're not violent protesters, but we get our point across. So if we had 100,000 people show up outside of Fox Studio or CNN or MSNBC, and they can't really conduct business the way that they should because this is going on, it becomes newsworthy. And then people start questioning, well, what have they been lying to us about? All of a sudden you start getting those questions, and you guys are going to have this, this abundance of evidence of things that we've been saying are factual with backup, and receipts for it. And more people wake up that way.
Yep.
I mean, that's basically what you and Todd started doing, was just showing that everything that they were telling us was bullshit. Once you got us through that one point, what happened? We got educated.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you, Selmer, for your monthly donation. That's awesome. Getting more and more monthly supporters. I'm going to do locals over on Rumble too. I just haven't figured out how to do it. And
Did you say
do
you're
like
doing OnlyFans? Is that what you just said?
yeah. Dude, hey, you think I got money problems now? Wait till I open up that OnlyFans, dude. I'm gonna be out down for the count, dude. That's not those days have come and gone in terms of me being able to make any money with my body. So this is quite interesting here, what we're experiencing as humanity, and how incredibly awake people are now. And I'll say this too, like what's happening with wait a minute, Mark said leader of Hamas is killed in Iran. Interesting. And also it was Israel bombed Lebanon today. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It's like, oh my gosh, that is huge, and they're planning a return volley here. And by the way, I need to show this, but I can't talk about it because of where we're at on the platforms right now. So I just need everybody to read this. And know that this is out there, and know that I have shared this on my X account. This has been released. Okay. And if you need to screenshot this and read it for later, please do so. And
we can drop the link to that too, right?
Oh yeah.
Because even if they don't
that-
have an X account, if we drop it into either Facebook or YouTube,
Good point.
if they click the link, even if they don't have an account, they can still see the article.
I just dropped it. You'll see it on Hawks Mustard Seeds 25. So, but that is very, very important. And this is the kind of thing that they were hoping to that keep quiet for 75 years. Okay. The New York Post, fabulous headline. Since the assassination attempt on Trump, Meta's AI, Facebook, and Google have said that the shooting never happened, falsely claimed that the pic was doctored, and downplayed the news in search. Rig tech. Okay. This is quite remarkable that we are seeing censorship in real time, unlike we ever have before. Also, Kamala has been exposed for paying social media influencers to promote her on social media like TikTok. And it's not being disclosed as a paid advertisement, which is illegal and should be investigated by the Federal Election Commission. And then this person. Have you seen this young lady?
Not going to go the way you think.
This, Hawk, you got to see this.
He's hilarious. I played this today.
Did you? Okay, awesome. Yeah. Here we go.
Youngins, cover your ears because shit's about to get real. Don't scroll. This video is not going to go the way you think it's going to go. Any hootie? So apparently they are trying to sweep shit under the rug like I was talking about in my last video. You know, the one that I posted 3 fucking times. And the 3rd time it's barely been seen by any damn body. If that one pissed y'all off, this one for sure is going to piss off you fucking lumps. First off, I'm really sick and tired of all of a sudden hearing girl power. Let's have a woman president. Correct me if I'm wrong, which I already know I am fucking not. For almost 4 years, y'all have tried, well, y'all haven't tried, y'all actually done it, to take everything from women and everything that it is to be a woman, like the word mother and Mother's Day and sports, fuck, even tampon commercials. And let's not forget, even restrooms and locker rooms for women. Oh, y'all don't want to talk about that? I fucking figured. What a shock. Well, it's different now. Don't backtrack now, twatopotamus. Take the consequences that y'all brought on your fucking selves. Second time. If Donald Trump gets elected, it's a threat to our democracy. Right. But your Democratic government, just putting somebody in the Democratic spot to race for the presidency without y'all choosing them is not okay. And not just that, it's somebody that y'all did not want back in 2020. But now all of a sudden, y'all are just like, okay, woo! Y'all are fucking dumb, which your government knew. And that's how they were able to do this, knowing y'all would just go with it. That's why they cannot stand those of us that think for our damn selves. Also, did y'all forget? Trump was president one time before already. Just saying. Third, the opening ceremony for the fucking Olympics was completely a fucking disgrace. Hell, they even had one dude, well, one that we seen, with his flesh stones hanging out the bottom of his fucking shorts while dancing with children. Do fucking what? And I will tell y'all point blank, nobody gives a flying fuck, huh? If you prefer ball barf suckers or one-eyed trouser trouts. But what we do care about is children being exposed to things they should not see, hear, or know. Fuck who you want to fuck, do what you want to do, but leave children the fuck out of it. I said what I said.
Yeah. Yeah. She's blunt and honest, and she doesn't hold back. She was gone for a while.
I don't know
She
her.
was gone for like, yeah, she was gone for like 6 months, 7 months. Life happens, sometimes you gotta pay more
Sure.
attention to life than the internet. But man, when she came back like a firestorm. This is like her third video since being back. So
I love it.
yeah, look her up on TikTok yeah, she's freaking crazy. I
Well,
like seeing all
that's
her
the
stuff
kinda,
over.
by the way, that's the kind of stuff that I do, that I want to do, and I was talking to you about, just as a way to let people know who we are,
Yeah.
because people aren't going to sit through 5, 6, 7 hour shows. Mine are, I'm getting them down a little bit. But for example, I haven't even done that yet, but I posted one today. I did one that I'm actually waiting for Rumble to upload. But I just took a part of my show, Hawk, and I put it, and I did a screen record on my phone,
Mm.
and I'm gonna upload that as a shorter video. But even that was like,
Yeah, with StreamYard, with the editor, you're supposed to be able to make clips. I haven't
yeah,
figured out how to do
we
yet,
need to
but
step into that, because more people should be watching us, and certainly they just need to know who we are, and get out there, and one video goes viral, and double, triple, the amount of people that are able to connect with us.
yeah.
The This is good news, brother. This is that X beats Meta's Facebook and Instagram, and is now the world's most visited social media network, according to SimilarWeb.
Yep.
Okay, so it's
Now that he's
kicking
allowing
in.
now that he's allowing live podcasting on here,
Yep.
that's I mean, it's $14 a month, but so what? To have everybody to have a fallback place in order to find you, paying 14 a month isn't a bad thing. Plus we picked up quite a few viewers. They just see what's playing over there in that side chamber, and they come in and they start adding more context to topics and stuff in the chats, no matter what platform they're on. Same thing with Rumble. I really hope Rumble stays the way it is by the time I have to use Rumble. But this is my battlefield. I can't leave the battlefield. Yeah, I just can't do it. It's too important.
So Carrie Lake won today.
She did. Awesome.
Yeah, her Senate primary. That's pretty. Yeah, that's good.
She was against
Again,
two
go ahead.
others. She was against two others, if I'm not mistaken. There were two other people running against her for that on the Republican side.
I'm not even sure. I think it was two. They're trying to take her out, I think, because of what's going on with the election. But she, here's another one. They need to take over mainstream media, somebody said earlier. And what we're seeing is that she was mainstream too. She was mainstream for decades.
Yeah.
And kind of stepped out of that, got red pilled, and is doing things a little differently. Certainly people are still critical of her. But
they're mostly critical because she steps outside of the box.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like she went from being this reporter that they admired in a particular way to all of a sudden understanding that the conspiracies that theorists have discovered and exposed really woke her up, and she became one herself. That's what they're mad about. because
Yeah.
she sees them for what they are, you know. Now, my question is at the same time that I think she's a good candidate and all that, how did she treat those 4 a.m. talking points?
Right.
You know,
And
so
and she has called out the fake news too. But she hasn't really given us the inside baseball, right?
yeah, I'd like to see
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, have you seen this about the Simpsons and the Olympic Committee?
Yeah, yeah, that'll definitely ding us for copyright.
Oh, okay.
Yep, on Facebook, YouTube, and it's yeah, both of those
Okay.
absolutely. But yeah,
Some
it's
folks
yeah,
go to my ex. They won't ding me for the copyright there, but we don't want that. Did you hear about this guy who wrote the book on Kamala Harris that Amazon stopped selling?
I saw an article about that yesterday. I didn't get a chance to cover it. That's Jimmy Dore though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the reason why we have you on today is because you wrote this book, and it was originally published in 2020, but guess what? It got censored. So when she was named the Democratic presumptive nominee, what happened? You tell people what happened.
I wrote this book 4 years ago in 2020, September of 2020. It was published. It created a little bit of a buzz. It was, you know, I got reviews in British newspapers in India, gave some talks on it, spoke to some web conferences. Not a big deal. Sold a few hundred copies. You know, it was just something I did. And it's been online ever since. It's been selling. And there you go. And so I figured, hey, with Kamala being named the presumptive nominee, might see a slight uptick in sales. Well, Monday at 7:26 p.m. local time, I get an email from Amazon. And it's interesting because, you know, this is the book. And if anyone had it beforehand, it's a collector's item now because they said there was something with the cover that was not correct. And they said I had multiple options, one of which was to just change the cover. And so I thought, well, geez, I don't want to miss this moment. This is the moment where everyone's talking about Kamala. So I adjusted the cover, put a completely generic, bland cover, and re-uploaded to Amazon. Denied. Tried it again. Denied. Tried it again. Denied. They said the issue was the cover, which has been fine for the past 4 years. But now it's pretty clear this has been removed from Amazon. It is not allowed to be on Amazon.com, despite being on there for 4 years.
So we see like just this mass censorship, folks. And so when you look at, you know, how are we funding our life, or where is our money being spent? Do you see the problem with Amazon Prime? Do you see the problem with Amazon buying from Amazon? Do you see the problems with staying on Facebook? Do you see the problems where we are putting money towards the very things that are trying to destroy us? Kamala Harris as president is the worst thing that could ever happen to this country beyond Biden. And you know, Jeff Bezos wants her in, and so he takes this book off their what they're offering. It just doesn't make any sense that we're still making this guy as rich as we are. Yeah. So very very troubling to see all that. Yeah, so I was just going to do a couple of just show the deltas for today and tomorrow. And there were 32 posts on this particular day, July 30th. The one that that really, you know, and I recommend you go in, and I'm going to share these here. Let's see. And Hawk, how long did you do a show today?
You know, that's a good question. I think it was about 3 hours today.
Okay.
It was a short one.
Anytime you want to bail, feel free. But I also, would love to hear any closing thoughts you have before you go. So, just let me know.
Actually, it would be good for me to. Yeah. Well, actually, no, that'd be good because I do need to get them out for an evening run. They have not gotten that.
Yeah.
Normally, I do that after I have dinner, and I came up with you. But thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming up,
you guys have a great night. And yeah, I'll be listening in on the YouTube side while I'm out walking. So
Cool.
enjoy.
Cool. Any final thoughts?
Well, remember, that this is much bigger than ourselves. So no matter what is going on, look to each other, and look to the Father. He's there for us for a reason. Stay tuned because things are going to be going faster and faster.
They sure seem like it, don't they?
Yep. It's gonna.
Yep.
It's and the thing is we have no fear because we were told 365 times minimal, because we add in all the books, there'd be a lot more than that. But 365 times we were told, be not afraid.
Mhm.
So it's a simple rule to follow, and I'm gonna get out of here. Peace.
All right, brother. Much love, bro. Have a good night. Thanks.
You too.
All right, folks. Hawk Marsden, who is sharing his Facebook page, Hawk J. Marsden, and also his YouTube page, Hawk's Mustard Seeds 25, no spaces. So, and then his X is at Hawk's Mustard 1. He's also sharing his channel there so that we get maximum exposure. So, please show Hawk some love. And he's a dear friend who was also very much a part of me coming back to you. And so that was an outstretched hand that was much needed at a time in my life. So grateful to my friend for that. So let me get back to this. I wanted to go to, how did I get over here? That's not the one. Excuse me. That's not the one I want to show you here. Oh, I've got the wrong one over. Okay. That's why. Here it is. July 30th. Okay. So my friends, the July 30th is, like I said, it's got 32 drops. Okay. And I'm going to open it up here a little bit more for us. So we got a little bit bigger, more room to work with here. So, okay. July 30th. I need to change this. My apologies. This is not going with me here. Okay. He sent among them swarms of flies which devoured them and frogs which destroyed them. Psalm 78:45. This was back in the day during the debates and some of the speeches when a fly landed on both Hillary, landed on Obama, and if you remember, also landed on Mike Pence, who at the time many of us did not know was not a good guy. We thought that, well, if Trump picked him, then he's got to be good. So, maybe hold off on your thoughts about JD Vance regarding that as well. We got News Unlocks the Map. We've got Watch the News This Week. Placeholder, D-Class, exculpatory evidence, FISA. FISA brings down the House, so we got to remember that FISA is a huge factor still. Targets may be closer than they appear. Hunters become the hunted. This is Devin Nunes's Nunes account, hunting for chupacabras circa 2001. And the hunters become the hunted, and Devin Nunes is certainly a part of that. I wanted to show you that. That's what popped up on that right there. There's a young Devin Nunes. The Trump tags QAnon account in calling for a voter ID law. This was probably one of the first times that he shared a QAnon account. That was 2019. That was starting to verify the connection between Trump. There were other things that were going on as well. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Why don't you go lay down and go to sleep like the good little boy over here is doing? So, and of course, voter ID is still an issue, right? We're still dealing with that. This was the one that really stuck out at me, and that is the 3535. Okay. Time travel is fun, or 1, 2, 3, 4 dots Q. Is fun, or I don't know, dangerous, or time travel is fun or not. But here's what's interesting about Q saying that time travel is fun. There are many things that lead us to believe without a shadow of a doubt. And I mentioned this on the other night, and I said, if you take, Edgar Casey, he was the sleeping prophet, right? Virginia Beach, Virginia. He had future predictions that came true. Nostradamus, going way back, had future predictions that came true, but he also had a lot of predictions that did not, right? Like anybody. Kim Clement, a lot of predictions that have come true, and he's very, very important right now because of some of the strange July, because of the what do you call it? The two presidents, the presidential assassination. I'm sorry, am I still stuck on Devin Nunes? I didn't mean that. Sorry, folks. So this is time travel is fun. And it's very interesting to know that when you look at the predictions that Q has given, there are many more predictions than we've ever seen from all of those combined that have, absolutely nailed it. All those men combined that I was just talking about. So, yeah. So this is, most of this day, by the way, is voter ID. And of course, voter ID is in the news because UK voter ID laws, the voter ID rule may have stopped 400,000 taking part in UK election. A lot of stuff from UK in the past week regarding that. But that's a big part of it. And then the FISA is certainly a big part of it. Big part of what's happening right now, because we believe that FISA is going to bring down the House. So that's going to expose Obama. I believe that's going to be the one main thing that leads to arrest. And here we have 1795. Why is that showing up on July 30th? Let me double check here. I think it's because of another post. Let me see. Yeah, because it posts July 30th, which is think FISA again, right? White House visitor logs, McCain, whose no name is McCain, Brennan, Hussein, Comey, Hussein, Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Hussein, dates. John McCain was a traitor to our country and to certainly to Donald Trump. And so, you know, Q said here, you cannot fool a massive group of dedicated gold star researchers. At what point does it become mathematically impossible? Comms structure designed for a very specific reason. Okay. The comm structure of what we're experiencing right now and how we're being spoken to by Q. It was designed for a very specific reason so that the ones paying attention, the ones doing real research, could actually step in and help this this revolution along. Okay. And so I'm grateful to Q and people that aren't into Q. I offer this, and that is just research like Q tells you to do. Beware, false prophets, which Q tells you to do. Question everything. Be discerning. Don't trust fake news. Don't trust those outside the fake news that have, used this movement for riches. So these are all things, tenets of Q, that you don't have to be a follower or a believer in Q to have the benefit of Q, my friends. That's what I really, really want to stress here, that it's okay if you're not Q. It really is. Like it's okay if you're not down. I think that it's really important to understand how much we've been communicated to by Q and how important those communications have been, especially now. But when you think about it, it doesn't matter if you're a solid, dedicated gold star researcher. I don't know what gold star is, but you know what I mean. Like in school, you get a gold star because you did your homework. You did a good job on your test. If you're doing a good job on your tests, Q is saying they're not going to be able to fool us anymore. Do you understand how important this is? All this bullshit, all this, it's, Vance is weird and Trump is weird and we're not going to we're not going to sell Kamala's book, and we're going to, we're going to try to delete her history of the border czar and some of the other mistakes that she's made, and we're going to try to whitewash everything that she's done. Well, folks, this is what they did with Barack Obama. This is what they did with Barack Obama. This was an absolute, when they installed him into our presidency of our nation, when they installed him, it was like the absolute Manchurian candidate without question. Manchurian candidate. Okay. He wasn't born here. It wasn't his real name. It wasn't his real wife. She's a dude. He is gay. He is a smoker. He is a Muslim, not a Christian. And they installed him and they pulled the wool over the eyes of all of us because of the power of the mainstream media is nothing like we've seen before. And so, but gold star researchers is what Q is saying is the difference between being able to be fooled and not being able to be fooled anymore. Okay. And so, we have this situation. Well, let me go to this first, and because I want to address the time travel, okay? And I want to take you to this drop. And I've seen this before, and it looks legitimate. And thank you all for supporting independent research and tipping. I'm delivering you some good, nourishing food, I believe, and so feel free to drop a tip, if you so desire. Let me take you to this. This is a very unique video that I want to share. I want to share a few other things, and then I want to close this out. So here we go. Time travel is fun.
In 1980, a Japanese journalist filmed an iPhone. It was an iPhone 13, and this video is currently resurfacing on the internet, creating an incredible buzz. This show was filmed in 1980 around Hiroshima. You know that a bomb exploded in Hiroshima in 1945, which led to the city being deserted due to radiation. The show is about returning to the site to observe the abandoned houses and objects left behind. At the time, the journalist thought he had found a mirror, because theoretically, the iPhone didn't exist in 1980. However, it was indeed an iPhone 13. The most worrying part is that no one can explain how an iPhone 13 ended up there in 1980. The journalist, perplexed, didn't know what to make of it and genuinely believed it was a mirror. So, who can explain this glitch in the Matrix, please? I have checked the sources. It is indeed a video from 1980. You can look it up on the internet. The mystery has sparked numerous theories, from time travel to elaborate hoaxes. Regardless of the explanation, the video has captivated audiences worldwide.
If you listen to the people who are, saying, "Oh, time travel is nonsense," they're also the same people that say that we've had our technology suppressed and that we should be having free energy because Tesla figured out free energy. And I absolutely agree with y'all. Absolutely agree that we should not be paying for energy. You know what else Tesla figured out? Time travel. Yeah, he said it. He said it. He wouldn't say things if he didn't figure it out. Sitting underneath the arc of the electricity, he said he could see the past, present, and future all in the same time, all at the same moment. Okay. So the people that say we should have free energy are not being realistic about the other technologies that he did. Have you taken an X-ray? Tesla. Have you listened to the radio? Tesla. Have you used turn on your lights, AC? Tesla. And he did all those things, including wanting to give away the electricity for free because he got it out of the air. He got it out of the ether. And yet time travel was off the table, or being able to look into the future is off the table. Well, that doesn't make much sense to me. Okay. This is let me take you down to this. This is very concerning what's happening right now. And well, let me take you first to this. This is England. This is one of the things that I'm saying we're done with. We're over. One of the topics tonight of what's being exposed is the immigration. And here's London. And this happened, by the way, after Jim Ferguson breaking. Has patience run out with Islam? Thousands take to the streets after British children were murdered and stabbed, and a second man was stopped when he was found with a knife at a vigil tonight in remembrance of the children that were killed. They want civil war, and this is exactly what they're creating. They're creating this in England. They're creating it everywhere, and also what's happening. The Earth is potentially on the verge of an all-out nuclear conflict. Now, this is Matt Wallace saying this. Nobody's threatened nuclear armament yet, but Lebanon is planning a massive retaliation after Israel just bombed Beirut. They just bombed Beirut today. People are in the streets chanting Labbaik Ya Hussein. Hezbollah is aiming thousands of missiles into Tel Aviv, Israel, which could overwhelm the Iron Dome if fired. Israel may choose to respond with nuclear weapons, at which point we have entered stage 2, World War III. Not to mention Iran and the United States yet, where tensions are rising quickly. They're trying to make them rise. So you got that going on, and then I want to go to Matt Wallace to see what he's got, if he's got anything updated. Israel just killed the president of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, in an attack on his home in Iran. They threatened this action would lead to an overwhelming response. World War III watch activated. I just mentioned that to you there. So he's gone. The U.S. Navy fleet heading for Lebanon. Okay. Heading for Lebanon. Now, let me take you to what, Putin said about this. Putin condemns the Israeli strikes on Lebanon and considers them a flagrant violation of international law. Here we go. That's from Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus. Folks, this is, he is our ally. If you are on board with the commander-in-chief being Donald John Trump and the capitulation tour that he took to Saudi Arabia, to Japan, to China, to the Vatican, to Europe, and to Russia. Well, yes, to Russia when he was past the football. Okay. This is the good guy, if you can believe it. I don't believe he's the same guy that was in the KGB, honestly. I think, central casting. But needless to say, he's not the same boogeyman that we were told to be afraid of. Yet they're still telling people to be afraid of him. But in actuality, he's the cool head between with what's going on with Ukraine. And he's doing what he needs to in Ukraine. And that's what people don't get. And now what we're seeing, as and I've said this before, I think Donald Trump is acting like they're saving Israel for last. And that's what I believe that we're seeing right now. This is from Ian Carroll. Guys, if you're not following Ian Carroll, do yourself a favor. His at cancel CLOCO. Okay. In case you missed it, and this is on the heels of what Putin just experienced and what's happening with Lebanon. Our greatest ally is currently dealing with mass protests against punishing IDF soldiers for raping Gazan prisoners. So, in other words, people are saying that the punishment for IDF soldiers who raped Gazan prisoners should not be happening. And Israeli politicians are making arguments for why Israeli law is perfectly okay in stating that non-Jews aren't full humans, and so raping them is okay. This is in their own media, in their own words. This is real. Evil is real. Israel. Everything is legitimate. Israeli lawmaker justifies rape of Palestinian prisoners. I saw video on this, folks. This was disgusting. Okay. Rothschild, gave them made that happen. The Balfour Declaration was Rothschild's creating Israel and in Palestine. Okay. It's absolutely ridiculous what's been going on there. So many things, my friends, are happening as we speak, and it's absolutely incredible what is transpiring right now. Let's see, Matt at XRP says, hey, just so you all know, the Brunson case is still open and on the docket of the Supreme Court. If it gets overturned, DJT 45 to 47 immediately becomes president, and the illegitimate administration is removed along with members of Congress. Boxer also did a recent segment regarding the Brunson case, video below. Congress just so happens to be out on recess the month of August. SCOTUS is also currently out of session. I don't think they are right now. I think SCOTUS is in session, isn't it, right now? I think SCOTUS is still in session. I could be wrong. Let me see. Supreme Court calendar. Let me see. October term, 2024. Let me see. It looks like they might be out. No, it doesn't make sense, right? Till October. Folks, let me see. Let me see what's happening here. Biden proposes Supreme Court reforms. That was yesterday. That was very, very interesting. Court schedules first cases for 24-25 term. Announced its October and November schedules for oral arguments. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it may be shut down until October. Okay. So that's good information to have. All right. And so my friends, this is crazy, crazy times that we're in right now, and so much to be grateful for. So much to be grateful for that we are, experiencing this moment in human history. So, my friends, just wanted to say thank you to those of you who have, reached out with a tip, with a donation. Much appreciated, whether it be for me or for Hawk. And just, I'm going to come to you tomorrow, and I'm going to try to come every single day because we've got just much going on. We're wrapping things up with about, I believe, about 2,200 beautiful people in the house. About 2,100, I think. No, about 22. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this out. Thank you for your love, your prayers, your support, and let's keep going, folks. Let's take it to the next level in terms of just spreading information and sorry, I lost my audio there for a moment. But folks, let's keep the faith, keep the love. Enjoy each day. Just welcome each day and welcome moments in time. Make them special. We're tomorrow's never promised. So let's make the best out of tonight. I'm going to go take a walk with my doggy. I'm going to snuggle with my cat. I'm going to just enjoy the rest of my evening till I doze off. So much love to you. And I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Be well. Bye-bye.